A very good morning students. This is your English teacher Benu Sehrawat, and once again I welcome you all to RKP online classes. Today I want to admit this thing. Whenever I teach you, I always have a whale of time. Can you guess it? What is the meaning of this idiom, to have a whale of time? Wonderful, you got it right. It means to enjoy a lot. So I just want to tell you, I always enjoy it a lot. I always have a whale of time whenever I come and teach you, right? So it's like a therapy for me. So here today, before proceeding with the lesson, we learn an idiom, right? That is to have a whale of time. Okay, to have a whale of time. All right, and it means to enjoy. Wonderful. Now, are you all ready to visit the planet Venus with me now? Wonderful. So get ready now. All right. So open your books at page number 111. All right. So now Margot, she says it's like a penny. Now what is penny? Penny is basically coin, right? Like we have 5 rupee coin, 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, right? So that is called penny, right? So basically she's talking about the shape of the sun, right? So she says it's like a penny. No, it's not. The other children cried. Okay, cried means to say something in a loud voice, right? So again Margot says it's like a fire in the stove, right? So again she describes the sun, whatever she remembers about it. The other children, they again say you're lying, you don't remember anything. So basically here we see all the other children, they are really jealous of her, right? That she knows what the sun looks like, right? So they are really jealous of this thing, that they have not they did not get this opportunity, right? But she remembered and stood quietly apart from all of them and watched the patterning windows. Now beta, see, we already know that it had been raining, right? So when the water falls on something, when it flows, suppose this is the window, and if water flows on the window, it creates different patterns, right? So that is the reason the writer has used this adjective with the windows, patterning windows. So basically patterning means creating different patterns. So she remembered everything, of course, about the sun, but she was quiet and she was standing apart from the other children. She wasn't standing with them, right? And she was just having a look outside. She was just staring at the patterning windows. And once a month ago, she had refused to shower in the school shower rooms, had clutched her hands to her ears over her head, screaming the water must not touch her head. Now, can you just imagine her situation? Once, what did she do? She just refused. She said, I will not take bath in the school shower rooms, right? So, and while saying that, she just clutched her hands to her ears. Clutched means gripped. Okay, if this is the pen, so if I hold it like this, that means I clutched the pen, right? So clutched Clutched means gripped. Clutched means gripped. Alright, so she just clutched her hands to her ears like this, right? And she just loudly said, I will not take shower in this shower room, right? And this water, it should not touch my head. Why did she do that? Do you have any answer for it? Can you guess what is the reason behind that? Let me tell you. See beta, when you are frustrated, so in Margot's case, it had been raining for 7 long years. Nothing else, only rain, rain and rain, right? So what happens? You may like rain for 1 day or maybe 2 days, but after that, if it goes on and on for many days, what will happen? We get irritated, right? The same thing happened with Margot, right? She got really frustrated and she was like, this water should not touch me. So that was the reason that she refused to take bath also. Alright. So here we get this word screaming also. Screaming is when you make a loud sound, when you say something very loudly, right? Screaming. Alright, so after that she sensed it, she was different and they knew the difference and kept away. So that was the moment when Margot realized that she was in some way she was different from the other children, right? And the other children also felt this difference, right? So they were always they always used to keep away from her, right? They were never, Margot and the other children, they were never together, right? And what was the difference basically between Margot and the other children? That other children, they were excited about the whole thing, but due to some reason Margot was quite frustrated. Now there was talk that her father and mother were taking her back to earth next year. It seemed vital to her that they do so, though it would mean the loss of thousands of dollars to her family. Now beta, if you see here the word talk, now of course talk is a verb, right? But here if you see, it has not been used as a verb. There was talk. Here it means there was a discussion among other children that Margot's parents, they are coming at the planet and they will take her back to the planet Earth, right? And of course it will the expenditure will be quite high, but it was really important for Margot to go back, to leave the planet Venus anyhow, right? Vital, the word here we get to know about this word vital, which means important, right? Vital, vital, important. All right. So the children hated her for all these reasons, right? So of course all the other children, they used to hate Margot for all these reasons. Can you tell me all the reasons that we have discussed? Yes. First, she knew about the sun. When she was, of course, she is still a kid, but when she was younger, she had felt the warmth of sun, right? And she remembered it all. right? So this was the reason. And the second was that she was going back to the planet Earth, right, where she would be able to see the sun every day. So these were the reasons. They hated her pale snow face, her waiting in silence, her thinness, and her possible future. Now, this line shows basically they hated everything about Margot. They just could not stand her because of all these reasons. Now, get away. The boy gave her another push. My God, this boy is very violent, I must say. And how mean, how rude, right? So he gave her another push. And what she was waiting for was in her eyes. Well, don't wait around here, cried the boy savagely. You won't see anything. Now, when he gave her a push, she turned back at that time, and there were tears in her eyes at that time, right? And the boy, he said again savagely, the word savagely. It means violently. Violently. Oh, I made a mistake here. I hope you were able to spot it out. Alright. So, savagely means violently. Now, the boy again, in a very violent manner, he said, you just don't wait here, okay? You will not see anything, right? So, he was quite irritated. The way he spoke, right? It shows his irritation levels, right? Please turn the page now. Oh, but Margot whispered, her eyes helpless. But this is the day. The scientists predict. They say, they know. The sun. This poor girl, she was, she was trying to explain herself that yes, this is the day. And we will be able to see the sun today. This is what the scientists say, right? Now, all a joke, said the boy and seized her roughly. Now, again he said, you're just kidding. I don't believe you, right? And he again seized her roughly. Seized means gripped. He just held Margot from here with both the arms, right? So, seized means gripped. Alright. Hey everyone, let's put her in a closet before teacher comes. Can you believe this? I mean, are these kids, are they really going to do this? Are they really going to put Margot in a closet? What is a closet? Closet is a cupboard. Okay? A cupboard. Almirah. Right? So my God, they have a very dangerous plan now. Right? No, said Margot, falling back. So she just took a step back, right? And she was just saying, no, please don't do that. Right? She was scared. They surged about her, caught her up and bore her, protesting and then pleading and then crying back into a room, a closet, where they slammed and locked the door. Now, they surged about her. Surged means to move forward quickly in a group. Okay? Surge. Surged, moved forward quickly. And bore her. Bore her means carried her. Okay. Bore. B B-O-R-E. B-O-R-E. Bore means carried. So all the children, they just went to her, they carried her, and then they went into the room, then in a closet, and they just put her inside, right? And of course, Margot was protesting. We have already learned this word in our last video, right? I hope you remember it. Protesting means objecting. Okay, when you don't like something and you say no, this is not the right thing, right? So she was protesting and she was pleading. Pleading means making an emotional request. Okay, plead. Pleading, making an emotional request, right? And then she was doing all these things. She was trying hard to, convince the other children that this is not the right way, this is not the right thing. But of course, the other children, they were not ready to listen anything. So they just put her inside the closet and they just slammed the door. Slammed means shut forcefully. Okay? Slammed. Shut forcefully. All right. Now, and saw, they stood looking at the door and saw it tremble from her beating and throwing herself against it. Now, they just slammed the door, they shut the door, and they were just standing there looking at the closet. And what did they see? That she was beating the door, right? And they saw it tremble. Tremble means shaking. Tremble means shake. The shake, which was the result of Margot beating the door from inside, right? So she was beating the door from inside and she was throwing herself. Like, if this is the closet and if I am inside, so what will I do? I would, push it in, in attempt to open the door, right? So, but the children, they are weird. They did not do anything. They just, stood there and they enjoyed the sight. That is a very mean thing to do. All right. They heard her muffled cries. Now, I have already told you what is a cry. Cry is a loud voice, right? Loud voice. Now, when they were standing outside, they heard her muffled cries. Now, beta, muffled means if somebody is in a closet, right? So the voice will not be clear. I mean, it will not be loud, right? Because there is an obstruction, right? The door of the closet. You getting my point? So that is called muffled, right? Not loud because of an obstruction. Okay. Now, then smiling, they turned and went out and back down the tunnel just as the teacher arrived. And then after doing this horrific thing, they just smiled. Can you believe how wicked they are, right? They just smiled and they went back to the same place where the teacher had to come. All right. Ready, children? She glanced at her watch. So the teacher comes, right? And she glances at her watch and she asks the students, all right, students, are you ready? Right? Yes, said everyone. Are we all here? Yes. Now again, they are very cunning. They did not tell anything about Margot, right? And they just, tried to show as if everything was normal, right? So the rain slackened still more. Now this word also, it has been discussed earlier, so I hope you remember its meaning. Slackened means to become less active, right? So the rain slackened even more, right? They crowded to the huge door. So there was a huge door and they crowded near the door. Now what is the meaning of crowded, beta? Crowded means gathered. Okay, they all came near the door. So that means they crowded near the door. Crowded, gathered. And the rain stopped. Wow, so this is the moment. The rain has finally stopped. The world ground to a standstill. The word standstill, it means no movement, motionless. But ground to a standstill, it is actually an idiom. Alright, it is an idiom. And actually it is grind to a standstill. Now what does it mean? Grind to a stand still. It means to stop slowly. Okay, right? To stop slowly. Now, when they say the world ground to a standstill, it means the world, basically the rain has stopped, right? So it seemed as if the world, the whole world has come to a halt, to a stop. Okay, there is no motion outside, there is no movement, no sound, nothing. Right? The silence was so immense and unbelievable that you felt your ears had been stuffed or you had lost your hearing. Now, suppose you are exposed to a very noisy place for a very long time. Okay? Then again, suddenly, if everything stops, the sound stops, the noise that is vanished, what happens? The silence, it feels like your ears, they have gone numb. You don't feel anything, right? As if something has been stuffed. Stuffed means to put something inside, to put something inside, right? So this is what all the children felt. Right? So, and it also felt as if they had, lost their hearing. They are deaf. Yes, the word immense here, that which has been used in the line here, it means immense, it means great or huge. The children put their hands to their ears like this, okay, because they are not able to, adapt to this sudden change, right? So it was unbelievable for them, right? They could not bear it at once. So they just put their hands on their, to their ears. They stood apart, right? The door slid back and the smell of the silent waiting word came into them, right? So this was the moment. So there was this huge glass door, right? It slid. Slide means to flow very smoothly, okay? So the door, it slid, and when we open the window or door, right, which had been kept closed for years, what happens? The smell comes from outside, right? So the children, they enjoyed this smell of silence, right? There was no sound, right? So they just enjoyed this the smell of silence, right? And waiting world. Now, of course, the world was waiting for these children to come outside, this beautiful nature. And this was the moment that the sun, it finally came out. It actually appeared in front of all the children who had been waiting for 7 long years. Can you imagine their happiness now? Wonderful. So this was all in this video. Of course, it's time to go back to Earth planet now, and we'll come again on planet Venus in our next video. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. If you have any doubt, please do not hesitate to ask me. Thank you so much.